Section 3.1 and 3.2. In these two sections, you will see questions like this. Tick one box to show the correctly written key signature of B major. In order to do this question, we need to recognize how a correctly written key signature looks like. The most important thing to start with is to make sure that the accidentals are the correct ones. And there's an acronym that helps you memorize them more easily, and that is FCGDAEB, which stands for Father Charles Goes Down and Ends Battle. Now let's look at how the accidentals are laid out in the four different clefs: the treble clef, the tenor clef, the alto clef, and the bass clef. In all of these clefs, they share the same accidentals. So for example, the first one is always in F, and then C, G, D, A, E, B. Apart from making sure that they have the correct accidentals, we also have to make sure that the shape or the pattern is correct. If we look at the accidentals in the treble clef, we'll see that they are arranged like a wave pattern, which goes lower and lower in a symmetrical pattern. It's like a W shape. And this is exactly the same in the alto clef and the bass clef, only that their starting F are in different places because of the clefs. Now, however, we have a different pattern for the tenor clef here, because instead of having a wavy pattern that goes down, this time is a wave that goes up. So this is something we should bear in mind. Also, it's worth noting that the starting F sharp falls in the lower half of the staff, unlike the F sharps on the other clefs that start on the upper half of their staves. Now let's look at the flat keys: the treble clef, tenor clef, alto clef, and bass clef. For the flat keys, we also use the same acronym but in reverse. And here's how it goes: BEADGCF, which stands for Battle Ends and Down Goes Charles' Father. For the flat keys, the visual layout is more consistent than the sharp keys, because the flats in all four of these clefs are like waves going down in a symmetrical way, following the acronym BEADGCF. And so when we come back to this question, let's have a look at these options. For the first one, we have an alto clef, and according to the chart that we have, the key signature with 5 sharps is supposed to look like this, but it doesn't. So that is a wrong option. And for the treble clef, it's supposed to look like this. And in the option we have there, it's almost like that, but the second sharp is a wrong one. It's not a D sharp, but supposed to be a C sharp. The third option, the bass clef, is supposed to look like this. And in the option, again, it almost looks like a correct one, but the last sharp is a wrong one, because that's not supposed to be a B sharp, but an A sharp. And so the remaining option is the only correct one, the tenor clef. And if you cross-check it with the correct pattern, that's exactly how it looks. So we can put a tick here. Another sample question here, this time dealing with the flat keys. Again, let's look at the accidentals here. In all of these clefs, we have 6 accidentals, and we focus on the corresponding column in our charts. Let's start with the first one, the treble clef. According to the charts, it looks like this. But in the option, as you can probably see, it's not as symmetrical as we would like it to be, so that's a wrong answer. The second option, the bass clef. According to the chart, it looks like this. And in the option, it does look exactly the same, and that's the correct answer. But just to be safe, let's check the remaining ones as well. The tenor clef is supposed to look like this, but in the option, everything is a bit too low, and it doesn't even start with the right accidental. So that's the wrong one indeed. And the last one, the alto clef. According to the chart, it looks like this, but in the option, it doesn't even start with the correct notes. It starts on an E flat, whereas it's supposed to be starting on a B flat. So that's also a wrong answer. So there we have it. That's how we deal with sections 3.1 and 3.2. This section is all about identifying the correctly written key signatures, and all we need to know is what accidentals they are supposed to contain. For example, FCGDAEB or BEADGCF, as well as how they are supposed to look visually. If you're looking for some more practice, I'll highly recommend that you visit this interactive site where I've put together a lot of practice tests and mock papers with instant feedback. In the drill mode, you'll have access to all the questions section by section, so that you can focus on specific question types and practice them until you feel confident. There are virtually unlimited questions. In the exam mode, you have access to full papers in the exact format of the exam, with randomized questions each time. You have 2 hours to finish the complete paper, at the end of which you'll be given your score and feedback.